Something happened yesterday. Big thing.
Yes. People were told.
Political party sanity. This is it.
NEC, National Executive Committee of the ODM party, said what? This is the whip. Let's crack it on rebels with expulsions and hefty fines. You don't just come and do anyhow here and we just keep quiet. So what were these transgressions? Let me give you a little bit from that story. It's a legal battle that they say is brewing after ODM expelled 5 rebel legislators, as they call them, for violating the party's constitution by going against the resolutions and associating them with the ruling Kenya Kwanza Alliance. The move to tame the rebels follows a National Executive Committee meeting chaired by party leader Raila Odinga. Now, the MPs, Elisha Odhiambo from GIM, Carolee Omondi, Suba South, Gideon Ochanda, Bondo, and Felix Odiwuor Langata, as well as Kisumu Senator Tom Agenda, are expected to appeal the decision because, hey man, we want to stay. What is this? And we don't feel that what we did was wrong. If we did anything for that matter. The party also resolved to revoke the nominations of 4 Kisumu members of the County Assembly, Caroline Opar, Kennedy Ajwang, Peter Obaso, and Regina Kizito for gross misconduct. Other rebel MPs and MCAs were instructed to write an apology letter and pay fines of various amounts to the party, ranging from 250,000 shillings to 1 million. Nairobi County Woman Representative Esther Passaris, who went against the party's stand on the Finance Bill 2023, was fined 250,000 shillings to pay within 60 days and write an apology letter within 7 days. So it looks as though the whip was being cracked. And according to ODM National Chairman John Buddy, he said the MPs fined and saved from expulsion had appeared before the party's disciplinary committee and offered the explanations. Those who were expelled apparently did not. And said that the NEC, which backed the ongoing talks between the opposition and the government, also resolved to hold the party's grassroots elections next year. But this, what they're calling nonsense, whereby it seems as though you're frolicking with the other side, that they were not going to stomach it anymore.
You're advancing the interest of a rival political outfit.
Exactly.
And so, this is unacceptable. So we take disciplinary action. Number one, I think just from the basic of it, I must commend ODM. This is what we're saying. So if you have complaints and you think that somebody is going against the party, follow due process. If due process, according to the party's constitution, says you shall invite them, you shall ask them to come and present themselves, you shall ask them to do this and the other, and then you shall, if it has gone through due process, good. Because this is what a political party should do. Now, the next thing is, are you asking yourselves exactly why? Why would so many members of your party be cavorting with a rival party? Why would they be doing that? Did you ask them why? Do you understand what exactly is going on here? Because much as you say you want to rein in and instill discipline within your party, you must also listen to what's happening, what is being said.
Now,
is the message clear to the leadership of ODM that there's something here that we need to actually address and ask our members, what is it? What can we do?
The question I think that must be asked here is looking at the reasons as to why the members of the party, who many would have said before, were die-hard ODM supporters. They were members to the core. Inside and out, their attitude, their behavior showed everything that anybody who was looking from the outside in would be clear to them that these are ODM members and that they had pledged their allegiance for life to the party. So on that premise, why would these individuals, knowing full well the tenets of the party, then still go and be accepting of a meeting at State House, for example? If in their understanding such a thing was tantamount to betrayal or within party lines treason,
Okay.
Why would they make such a move if they knew that it would be detrimental to them? Or did they not understand that whether it's spoken or not, whether it's written or not, such a move you do not do? Or did they really feel that actually this is not bad? What must I look at? Development, according to them, over party affiliation? Because at the end of the day, yes, because of my party affiliation, I got this seat in this place. That's clear. I got the nomination, I went to the vote, I got the backing of the party, and here I am. However, when you look at the development agenda for the country, certain things happen, whether you like it or not. It's going to go with the flow in terms of what the government, with the executive at the top, doing certain things. If you go and pay homage, does that mean that you are relinquishing your affiliation with your party to another? Because the explanations that we've heard over time, some who've sat in this chair,
they're saying it's development.
Said, it doesn't mean I am not with my party anymore.
It could also point to just what we've seen as bad manners in our politics. And this is why I'm saying it could be a step in the right direction when you start reining in on errant members. We call this impunity. You're elected, you campaign, you get a ticket of a certain political party, you are elected on that party's ticket, you go into parliament, and then you behave like, no, you actually don't have to belong to this political party. That is political party impunity. And if politicians then can start seeing, okay, no, if you are coming in with this party, then you shall abide by some basic rules and tenets of the party. It's important to do that. It's important for politicians to know that if I am seeking to be a member of this party, if I am seeking to be given a nomination ticket by this party, then I am also ceding something. I am subjecting myself to the rules of this party. If I don't like the rules, then there are internal party mechanisms that I can use to push for the amendment of those rules or the repealing of those rules. If there's any part of it that I don't like, I work within it or I walk out. So you cannot just be saying, you bwana, ni maendeleo, si tunatafuta maendeleo, watu wetu bwana. Yeah, it's okay, but there's the other thing. There's an institution called a political party, which is a recognized institution. It's not just some ad hoc thing. It's a recognized institution. Discipline is important.
Absolutely. I think there's also, it's necessary to have a deeper understanding of what the action meant, right? Because these guys will tell you to the very end, many have argued that they don't know if they're being honest or not, that they didn't feel as though whatever they did or wherever they went or whatever conversation they had was tantamount to relinquishing.
Or betraying the party.
They've said even after that they would be in the party for life. They are lifetime members. They didn't see any reason why this would cause this kind of thing that it has happened. Furthermore, call it further politics or not, they're still saying that there's a possibility of appeal for this. That would you understand my position and where I was and what I did? Look at a situation whereby there's an impasse between the opposition leader and the president today. Whereby certain conversations are not happening. But here you are stuck with the mantle of execution of development in your particular constituency or in your area as a senator or as a member of parliament. And you know very well the way politics runs. If you are not on the good side of the executive, chances of development happening at a rate which is acceptable then are becoming slim. That's true. It's just the way it works here.
Yes, which is the other side of the bad manners of our politics.
Which shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be.
And by you moving over and crossing over, then you're endorsing it and saying that is the way that things should work. We are saying basically that the winner, because you have won and you are the political party that is now in government, all other political parties should either bend the knee or there'll be no development in their areas. That should not be the case. It shouldn't be because a member of parliament or a member of a county assembly is from the opposite side of those in the executive, there should be no development. Development should be cross-cutting. And members of parliament prepare budgets. When they're preparing budgets, they also appropriate for specific projects. Campaign for those projects in your area. And then oversight to make sure that those things happen in your area. And those in the executive should know it doesn't matter whether in the government side or the opposition side, you shall still also get. You don't have to come and kiss the ring. Because this thing of saying, I am going to kiss the ring so that I can get development in particular Kito for my people. This is why we were writing a new constitution. This is why we were saying, let's actually delink these things. Let us say that parliament is an independent unit whose job is to oversight the executive. And then the executive does not even sit in parliament. Let them do their job that they've been given to do by the people, being oversighted by the parliament. Now, when you start kissing the ring, this impunity, we are re-entrenching this impunity. It needs to stop. And if this is one move that takes us towards that maturity, then let it be, man.
Do you feel that there's retrogression in terms of politics when we see, because look, politics, they're going to shape a lot of the way shapes a lot of the way in which leadership and governance then comes out to be. It's done for generations. It's going to happen like that. That the politics of the day will play a role in the influence of leadership and governance, because essentially it is these individuals who then come in and fill these positions.
Yeah.
So the way in which you play things out politically will have an effect on your development. It'll have an effect on governance.
Yeah.
It'll have an effect on leadership. It'll have an effect now on these things that you're talking about, constitutionalism. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Now, do we see that possibility of retrogression now when we say, oh, for crying out loud, we should have left the space whereby we're saying, you know what, if I haven't kissed the ring, or if I haven't paid homage at State House to greet the president,
there will be no development,
there will be no
and my
development
opponent will have something.
Right? That me in my oversight role in Kisumu County, for example, if I have not gone to pay homage, then the likelihood of things being pressed is greater, or things just lay fallow because, I don't have an opportunity to push because they haven't seen me or heard from me.
Yeah.
It takes us back significantly.
Yes.
Because we should not be in that cycle whereby we're still doing that.
Yes.
Okay? Now, those who have been expelled, do you think that those who instigated this expulsion are also thinking along those lines? As you're saying now, it's fantastic in the optics, but are they seeing actually we need to teach them a lesson so that we do not see this kind of retrogression that I'm referring
That's
to
the
now?
other side.
Or are they actually seeing it as no, you've hurt me and you've gone to my arch rival.
Not a Pataki Chapo.
Exactly.
That's the other side, and that's why now I come in now to ODM. So on paper, taking action against the people that you consider errant members who may not be following party lines and who have been given an opportunity and they've not satisfied the internal party mechanisms, take action on them, fine. However, just like we're saying, it doesn't mean that because this is a party of political formation that has won the executive that everybody should pay homage, kiss the ring, that you should be able to run independently. Also, it doesn't mean that those of you who are left in the minority, the opposition, whatever you want to call it, you must always say no to everything else that comes from the other side. Because is ODM sitting back here and just saying no to everything? Okay, so the president is coming to your area. Why are you welcoming him? Or the president has called for a meeting for saying, leaders of Nyanza, please come. Leaders of Nyanza, go. Why are you going for that meeting? The president is saying, okay, I'd like to engage with members of parliament from this particular region or on this particular agenda, and the people who are championing that agenda, some of them belong to the opposition. Please come. You attend that meeting. Why are you attending the meeting? The ODM should also not operate like that.
I agree.
You cannot just sit back and say, as long as it comes from Kenya, no.
I agree.
It can't be that.
I agree to the extent that it can't just be that. But then if you want to look, maybe a little bit on the periphery here is that, okay, political parties have standards of operation.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where you are. And I do feel that political party leadership is far from the ideal as per when we look at the birth of political parties and what they were meant to do in terms of ideologies. We still don't have that here. That political parties coalesce around an individual, and a political party is a vehicle for an individual to then get elected into office.
Yep.
That we know. However, the individual or this vehicle sets certain rules and standards about how the party will operate, right? Was this made known? Or is it one of those unspoken things whereby we don't have to tell you, but you're not to be caught in the neighbor's yard at all, not even after 6 p.m. At all? Is it an unspoken thing, or is it meant to be
It's so
understood?
Because my mother has cosaned with the neighbor.
So don't I dare
cannot,
see you not
I
talking
cannot
to
talk
her,
to
or receiving
these
a
kids
sweet
are my
from her
friends.
if she comes.
We go to school, we walk to school together, but from tomorrow you're not walking to school together. Let them walk and then you walk 5 meters behind them. Because you cosaned over something.
And that's the problem.
This is what is happening here.
And that's
this
the
person
problem.
who was reading out the punishment being meted out on people is ODM chairman John Badi. He's been here before. He's told us when the president visited Homa Bay, ahead of the presidential visit to Homa Bay, he said, can I meet with the leaders from the region so we can plan, okay, what is it that we're going to be discussing, And John Badi is among those who attended a meeting in State House to plan for this. When the president went to Homa Bay, an ODM person, the governor of the area, welcomed him. John Badi was among those who welcomed him. And then there was a tussle the tussle, of course, between those who are still ODM members and those who are seen to be now leaning towards the Kenya Kwanza, who are still also ODM members. And the point is, are they being punished just because they have sat for meetings with the president? Are they being punished because they have gone against the party's ideology? And the party is very clear that this is what we stand for. We oppose affordable housing. Jalango, you're welcoming the president for affordable housing and praising him. We are opposed to affordable housing. We oppose this kind of project. Jalango, you are championing this project. Therefore, you're clearly going against what the party stands for. We agreed that this is what the party stands for. You are voting against what the party stands for. Is that what they're being punished for? Or is it just because you people, finance bill, you're just voting yes.
But is that not what Esther Passaris has been fined for?
That's it.
She voted for the finance bill and she's been asked to apologize, and then she's been fined 250,000 shillings. So I'm wondering, you're going to make this apology because you went against the party position, not because you were a thinking human being of sound mind and maybe you saw something that was going to make some kind of sense. And this is my problem with individuals coalescing around, or rather people would be leaders
coalescing around an individual.
That's my problem, because you don't see sense thereafter. Even if you would want to think in a certain direction, you're almost not given the freedom or liberty of thought.
Yep.
And what does that mean? What does that mean then when you're in your nuclear position of leadership? What does that mean? That you will forever have the monkey on your back asking questions? Can I do this or can I not do the other? And this is my problem, that political party ideology needs to be re-entrenched. Actually, just needs to be entrenched. I don't think...
And made clear.
And made very clear in terms of what is supposed to happen.
And party position. If there's a party position, let it be a very clear party position, not a dictated party position, right? So if we are opposed to the finance bill, are we opposed to all the clauses in the finance bill? Or are we opposed to this and this and this clause of the finance bill? And therefore we are saying that we shall collectively vote. On this one, we have no issue. You can vote how you wish. On this one, we are strong on it as a party, because this goes against what we stand for as a party. This is going against our ideology. We do not feel that people should be taxed for fuel at all. And these are the reasons why our party does not stand for taxation on fuel. So if there's a 1% addition or 2% or an 8% or a 16% addition to taxation on fuel, we as a party don't stand for it, and therefore it's automatic. We shall say no. Okay?
Yeah.
But this is not it. We're just saying, no, it is expensive.
Because you are on the other side. Would we be saying the same thing if your side of the divide was actually in the position of the presidency? That's a question. But an example has come into my mind.
Right.
Look at the parties of the Republicans and the Democrats in the United States. It is very rare that you will find, but not impossible, that you will find a member of the Republican Party who is pro-choice. Do you understand?
Yep.
So by the time you're joining the party, you are an individual who is already thinking in a certain direction. And you say, this is where I'm thinking. And there happens to be a political party whose foundation is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am joining this party to be able to go and lead for this area, ward level, higher, state, county, etc., because I know very clearly these are the foundations of the party. If they're going to change, it would be made public, and any individual comes in and fits into the prescribed boxes. It's there.
Yeah.
Whether you come, you leave 100 years from now, that is what it is going to be. Sure, they keep building on it, but you know very well that's what it's going to be. Same, that it is very hard to find a Democrat who will be pro-choice. I mean, sorry, who will be pro-life. It's very difficult for you to find a Democrat who will be pro-life, because they're more they're leaning towards the left. So you ask yourself those questions. At the very beginning, when you were joining, was there something that you would say, this is what our party stands for? Who will you say today is the leader of the Democratic Party in the United States that you can point to an individual and you say, yeah, actually, this is the person that we coalesce around and this is the person that we follow? You'd be hard-pressed to find. You'll find vocal individuals, yes, you will, but there's something that they're all leaning on towards. You will not find that there's expulsion of a party member because of a position that they took in the House of Representatives.
They maybe campaigned them.
They could.
In an election.
Very possible.
Yeah.
But what am I saying? That you still maintain your position as a thinking human being, even if you're a member of a party. And that is my question. Political parties, are we reducing individuals to people who then become yes men? Or are we saying that you join a political party and you get a position, whether it's member of parliament, senator, whatever it is, that you're working within party tenets and elements, but you still retain your integrity, and I'm saying integrity on this line, or you retain your agency as somebody who can make decisions while following party. That has to be looked at.
Yep. Both sides have to be looked at. Both sides in terms of, look, ODM expelled Aisha Jumwa. And Aisha Jumwa's big sin was that she was cavorting with the Tanga people, led by the then Deputy President William Ruto. Of course, it didn't go through because the dispute tribunal found that the party had not followed through the proper process, internal mechanism. But then this is the thing. She was expelled just because she was campaigning for Ruto, who is not a member of the party today, who was a member of a party 10 years ago.
Right.
He's... Okay? But what else? What else do you use to say that this is what a party stands for? This is what our party stands for. These are our internal guidelines on how you shall behave as a member of our party. This is how we shall communicate with you. This is how, if you have a contrary opinion, you shall raise that with other members of the party and debate it. And you can say, then I can take a position on this one. I don't agree with the mainstream line taken by the party, but I agree with 98% of the other things of the party.
Absolutely.
That's one side. On the other side, you cannot just go and get a ticket for a political party and then you get elected into parliament and you have not even spoken. These are first-time MPs. Karoli Omondi is a first-time MP. Jalango is a first-time MP. Senator for Kisumu is a first-time legislator. These are first-time MPs. You're just getting into parliament, so we don't even know what you stand for politically. Yeah. And then you come in and the next thing, you're with Ruto, you're saying it's because I'm for looking for development. Who says that looking for development means that you have to keep following around the president? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, look,
there's some element of dishonesty in that conversation. You're basically saying, I have defected. It's only that, well, do whatever you can do. Oh, as in the football. Kenya, okay, now here it is. There's a likelihood that the dispute tribunal may find some fault somewhere and not go through with his expulsion. But let's say there's an expulsion and it goes through and they go back to the electorate. Do they have standing? Do they have a leg to stand on?
Because we must also understand that the voting goes on two things, individual lines and party lines. So you have to ask yourself the question, when this person was being given the vote, the person who voted for them, there was the promise of your allegiance to the party. There was also the promise of your allegiance to them as individuals, whereby you were going to do something based on the fact of the party that you came from. So has that changed then because of this action? People, look, we can say it. People looked at Felix Odiwuor in Langata and said, okay, we see you, but behind you we see Raila Odinga. Yeah. Yes.
There are those who voted for Felix Odiwuor because of the party ODM.
Yes.
There are those who voted for Felix Odiwuor because he is Felix Odiwuor.
Absolutely.
Whatever outfit he'd have come with, even if it's independent, he'd have gotten some votes.
Yes.
Okay, there's that. But then we've got to understand that there's a mix of both. Now, have you betrayed those that said it's because of ODM? It's because I want an ODM member in parliament. That's why I'm voting for the ODM candidate. And I came in and I participated in the nomination to have you as the person who I shall vote for.
We have to ask ourselves, though, if your daughter from your house under the name Latif and you have an argument with the neighbor over 1, 2, 3, and your daughter goes to visit the other child in the other house, does she cease to be a Latif?
Nope. She continues. But if we stand for something in this household, and then she goes in there and says, which they don't, right?
Then you can tell her, now go and live with them.
Yeah, there are things that we stand for here in this household, and we've communicated clearly that this is who we are as a family. This is what we stand for. And you immediately cross over to the other side and you seem to be championing that other cause, then we can raise an issue and say, here you're going against the family lines. Okay? But not because Eric, the father, fought at the bar with the neighbor, so-and-so. Now, nobody in my family should talk. Or Eric, the father, was campaigning for the local Nyumba Kumi chairman against so-and-so. So-and-so has beaten me as the Nyumba Kumi chairman. And so my family should not even be going for Nyumba Kumi meetings. Really?
That's what we're saying, though.
No. It's an interesting conversation. This one, we'll see how it goes, how it pans out. But sanity in our politics is important once in a while. We hope that this begins to instill some sanity somewhere.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.